Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to do a macro update on Bitcoin. I don't usually do these often, but it's been a hot minute since the last time we looked at the macro view of Bitcoin, and so I thought this is a good time considering that Bitcoin is more or less moving sideways, as it seems. That can definitely change, but for now, it's good idea to stop, sit back, and zoom out, which is something that we're going to be doing. Remember, if you do like this video, hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing. So we have the BLX chart up here. We are on the weekly time frame, so every candle is representative of a week. We have our distance to the moving average open, as well as we have the RSI. In addition, we have the 20-week moving average, which we know in past cycles was a form of support during a bull market. We haven't made contact with the 20-week moving average for quite some time. Last time we made contact was on October 5th. After that, prices just exploded. It's been about a few weeks since we looked, and we saw that the 20-week moving average was, or the price was roughly 122% above the 20-week. Now that's fairly concerning. We talked about how in certain cases the 20-week moving average or the price, if it's above the 20-week moving average a little too high, in this case 182%, it might be too much of a fall down back to the 20-week for it to hold, causing a bear market. You can attribute this here as well. We see that this weekly candle actually went as high as 13,800, but roughly closed about 10,000. So in this case, it shows 72% because it's using the close, the weekly close. If you change it to the highs, then this is more so like plus 100%. So getting to 122, 123% above the 20-week moving average is quite concerning. But ever since then, we've cooled off and we see that distance coming down. The 20-week is catching up. It is now at 83% above the 20-week moving average, and probably by next week it's going to be closer to. With that said, there is still considerable room above the 20-week moving average, which is great for altcoins. When we look on the macro scale of the BLX, we also know that our RSI was quite overextended. We went as high as 94.7 on the RSI. We haven't gone this high for quite some time, since the last time would have been close to about 2013, November 18th, the week of November 18th. The year is 2013. Bitcoin made a high on the RSI of 95. And a few weeks prior, a few months prior, sorry, we went as high as 99 on the RSI. And in 2011, it was at around the low 90s as well. So we haven't been this high for quite some time. Never have we been that high in 2017, but here we are in 2020 making that peak on the RSI. Ever since that, price has leveled off and obviously causing the RSI to go down, and now is currently at a modest, cool 86 on the RSI. So with that said, everything seems to be trending downwards, which is good. It might look like it's coming down, but also keep in mind that even if Bitcoin stays moving sideways, this is continued to come down. Distance from the moving average will go down. The RSI will continue to go down. But this is roughly how far we've come. Okay, we are considerably higher than the prior all-time high at around $20,000. Uh, and we see that price volatility, that price aggression, I guess you can say. It moved up quite faster than we were when we were below it, like here. We see this curve, but here it's a straight shot up. and we basically doubled the prior all-time high. Looking, with this in mind, when we look at this, it's hard to see what the next short-term actions are. We talked about the symmetrical triangle, but on the long-term scale, um, we know that once Bitcoin gets above its prior all-time high, price accelerates. It goes faster on a steeper angle, and I mean, there's not much else to say as currently that we're on track, so to speak. Will we correct? Most definitely. It's probably gonna correct. How when I'm not sure. You can argue that we're already correcting. Maybe if we slow bleed down, I mean this is one theory, we slow bleed down, the moving average will, make contact with us right here, generally speaking, and sometime at the end of Q1, which would make a lot of sense. I think I think it's been quite a long time since we made contact with the 20 week, and I think that's important, that we make sure we always make contact with the 20 week. We can also, and I've seen a lot of this, and it's entirely possible that we see something along the lines of 2013, where we saw that once price moved past its prior all-time high, it soared, it went up to $158 from the prior all-time highs 20. Now that's more than just doubling like in our case, but it corrected back down and it actually went past the 20-week moving average for a brief moment in time and then came back up and then soared again. So that's another possibility. It could very well happen like that. Um, and if this is the case, this is going to be hard to trade because at this point, at the 20-week moving average, I think everyone, including myself, will, be aggressively be buying, I think, Bitcoin because we are expecting it to hold. And if it breaks down, then, it kind of gets kind of weary even for me. Um, and I would be fearful into thinking that it'll be one of the bear markets that we've incurred, as we see here in 2014 and as we see here in 2018, 2019, once we broke below the 20-week moving average. Um, if it can ride it, I'm more than content for it to ride up the 20-week for a number of weeks, right? I'm perfectly happy for that, and that could be, something that I'm willing to see. You can also make the argument that this is 2013. Liquidity on Bitcoin was like nothing in comparison today, so this could very well be just um, like it won't necessarily happen again due to the amount of liquidity we have in the market, and in our context it might have just ridden up this 20-week moving average before coming right shooting back up. So instead of potentially having multiple times hitting the 20-week moving average like what we saw in 2017, we might see two very large contacts with the 20-week moving average. You could see it here, for example, as well as here, and we can see something similar in today's context. So we see that. Let me zoom in here. We see that we already made one contact with the 20-week, and then there could be a secondary contact, somewhere here. It's 20 moving average comes up, tapers off. Bitcoin kind of slowly bleeds, and then slowly rides it before shooting out. That is another possible scenario, which I would be, perfectly fine with. Um, and I think as long as we're above the 20-week moving average, the party's still on, in my opinion, and I think we're still far away on what we are capable in terms of a price action with Bitcoin as well as altcoins. But that's kind of the macro update with Bitcoin. We're at 30. Well, this is the BLX, so it's yesterday's close, but we know right now we're at 35,000. If we even flip it to Bitstamp, you can see we're at 79 above the 20-week moving average, and we are at 83 on the RSI. So, tumultuous times ahead, and it's not going to be easy. And even though, for example, if say that 2013 is to repeat, so we see this double peak happening, and this kind of break of the 20-week, you know, at a brief moment in time, relatively speaking, and then we shoot back up. Even if you know it's coming, it's gonna be hard to trade. It's the same analogy of, you see it, you know the train is coming, you see it coming with your eyes, but that train is moving at 80 miles per hour. You know, even though you know it's coming, it's gonna be very hard to get on that train. So especially with when you look at your portfolio, and it takes an iron stomach to stomach something through there. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.